They can hear you, by the way.
Fuck. I'm locked in, guys.
We're locked in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pleasantly Positive Show, where we take a look back on our week and just highlight some of the moments that made a positive impact on us, as well as we'll be covering some good news stories in a segment that I like to call Positive Press. I am your host, Savvy, and with me today I have POVOXO or Dallas. Dallas, how are you today?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing great. I'm here. I'm alive.
Good, good. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So, Dallas, how's your morning been?
It's been an interesting morning, but we're trying to smooth out to an okay day.
To an okay day? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
An okay day for me personally starts out with a cup of coffee. What are you drinking this morning?
I am drinking throat coat tea in my Yoda.
What is that?
It's amazing.
Not the Yoda mug. I love it.
Everybody's a
What do
little
you...
sick, so I have to use this tea so I don't get sick.
That's fair. That's fair. What kind of tea is it? You said throat
Throat
coat? Throat coat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it has like stuff to like coat your throat, so like if it's sore or if it like hurts and stuff, or it's like getting tight, it'll help with that.
Yeah, I thought you said throat goat tea for a second. Oh shit. Okay. Uh, we're off to a
Pull it
great
together
start.
like it.
But yeah, do you put anything in your tea? Or you just go just water?
If I have it, I would typically put honey in it. But no, just water now 'cause I'm too lazy to go buy that stuff.
Really? I feel like it's the honey that people put in the tea that's what like usually
I
helps with the throat stuff.
I think this tea probably has honey in it though. So
Okay. Little honey crystals that melt.
yeah, probably something like that. It
They
was
make
like $3.
that yeah, no. Yeah, whenever I go to like Target, I just buy the cheapest box of whatever tea sounds interesting.
Yeah, I took my I wish I had my matcha because I actually have
Mm.
like powdered matcha. If I didn't take that to work, I would have used that, but
Do you do hot or
matcha
cold?
goes right through me. Hot.
Hot. Okay. I like a hot matcha. Cold matcha just tastes like grass
Yeah.
to
Everybody
me.
hates matcha usually. I like the green smoothies and the green drinks. I like that type of stuff. I think it tastes good and I know it has decent benefits for you.
Yeah. I remember at Starbucks, matcha was one of our most popular drinks. To be honest, everybody's getting a
Wow.
matcha. Yeah,
That's surprising.
yeah. Especially during the summer, everybody get like an iced matcha latte or something like that.
hmm The little ramen bar I go to that's near my work when I go there for lunch, they sell like smoothies and I usually get the one that has like matcha kale and spinach in it and it's really good.
Is that not trying the
Rainbow.
docs? Is that yeah.
Yeah.
I like Rainbow. I never
Rainbow's
okay.
good.
I say I like it. I never got to eat there. Just when I was door dashing, I always picked up from there.
Yeah. We'll have to go if you come in before we get
If I come back,
paid in.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm friends with some of the people that work there. Not not to dox them, just some of the people I know from there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alrighty. So now that we got the little bit of introduction out the way, we can jump into some of our highlights from the week. Do you have any that you would like to present first, or
So this is kind of just like stuff that has been happening positively, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
just like you
I have
like
like
when it happened, you were like, that was nice.
I probably had some like so I probably have, like important ones and non-important ones I can probably talk about.
uh,
Um,
Whichever ones you want to talk about, big or small.
Basically, this has been a standard week. Nothing crazy. Work been slow, so it's been easy, thankfully. Kind of just working on still progressing the wedding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find what's right for us because we went to a venue and we were pretty sure that it was like gonna work for us. It was gonna be the perfect place, but then it ended up being like close to $6,000. And I don't know about you,
God,
but I do not have $6,000 to spare. So
no, that's crazy.
we've been looking at this place called the Avery. Not to dox myself, but um, it's really nice and it's only $400 for 8 hours. And it is an old bird sanctuary, so like the building's really cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really huge and it could fit 100 people still. So
I bet
we're
it's
gonna go.
tall then.
Yeah, it is. It's 2 stories actually. Like it's like I'll have to show you some pictures, but it's really awesome and it's
Okay.
green. It fits our aesthetic. Um, so yeah, but we're gonna tour that Monday tomorrow
Heck yeah,
and
400
see if we like
for
that.
8 hours, right?
Yeah, and that's
That's
just
better than
that's
6,000. I can tell you
6,000.
that right
Yeah,
now. I don't even know if you'd be at the venue for 8 hours.
yeah. So we're just trying to figure that stuff out. Just kind of like preparing for the future stuff. Kind of just
Yeah.
like hopeful thinking, I guess.
Hmm.
And I guess some like non-important stuff is, do you okay, so on TikTok, I'd say like 90% of my stuff has become, you know what hope core is?
Hope core, no.
So there's like different types of cores. And there's like a
I know like
core core,
cores, but like
sad core, gym core, but
yeah,
there's
yeah,
hope
hope
there
core.
there's hope core. And I've like tried to like develop my TikTok into just straight hope core videos, which is kind of like one of them things where I don't want to because it like gets me in my feelings, bruh.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like they're all a bunch of positive videos and like they have like a little subtle line in the middle of it and it's like a whole entire like compilation of just random people being nice or doing good stuff or like it's
It's
kind
like
of like a
those
compilation of
Navy
like
men coming home to their their wives that
yeah,
have been
kind
gone
of
for like
kind of
4 years, like kind
yeah,
of
kind of
stuff.
stuff like that. And they just put like the perfect music with it, just like the subtlety of it, and like I guess like for me, I'm probably known as like the rage dude in your streams, like the definitely the more
A
more
little bit high
sketchy
energy.
person to
I
yeah.
wouldn't say sketchy. No, you're like you're very high energy,
Um
passionate. We'll say
yeah,
passionate.
passionate, yeah, very passionate. But I guess for me, I strive to like want to be that positive and like that nice. And like I always like seeing stuff like that, and it like really makes me want to be like that. And I think I push myself a little too hard to be perfect for everybody, and then that just becomes like creates problems for me.
Yeah.
So I think if I would just like slow down and just take it easy. I think I take too much shit serious. I'm sorry for saying shit. Sorry,
Oh, we can
sorry,
cuss. Is
sorry
that
for
no,
cussing.
no, no? It's not no. As long as we're just not like every other word is fuck shit. It's fine. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care. If I need to censor it for the
Um,
YouTube, I can do that in post. I don't know.
but yeah, I think I just need to like slow down on life a little bit. I think I'm trying to rush too much. I think I'm trying to fly through my time because I know time is limited and it
Yeah.
scares me. But I think I just need to chillax, you know?
Yeah. Like life is short, but also like it's short, but in a sense it's long. Like we
Yeah.
got time. It's easy to feel like we don't have time, especially as we see the world and people progressing around us, especially now more than ever because not only do we have like the people that we see in our lives just
Hmm.
IRL progressing, but now we have our phones and we're seeing all the success that other people have. We're seeing time moving for them at like an accelerated rate because when you're looking back on somebody's life online, you see like if you were to look at my Instagram, you see all 24 years of my life in like
Yeah.
30 seconds. So it's like, oh man, look what he's got, look what they got, and whatnot, and look what I'm doing. It's easy to feel like you're kind of left behind a little bit. But yeah,
Exactly.
I do. I think patience patience is a virtue kind of thing. I take a lot of like mindfulness and patience, you know. Like I try to have a lot of patience with people. So I think it's nice that you're having patience with yourself in terms
I'm
of just what's
trying.
going on in your life.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I'm
The
not
Yoda
perfect at it.
the Yoda mug. Do it, do not. There is no try.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I think that's good. I think that's like especially with the TikTok, surrounding yourself with that kind of like
I just remember my
content in
TikTok
your
used to be
face.
so like I guess like depressing and like I'm trying to change that and like I'd say 90% of it is hopecore and like gaming information or anime edits.
Hmm.
Like I'd say that's like majority of it to be honest.
I would say that like on my other platforms like Instagram and Twitter, I had a lot of like negativity, and that's why like I think you've kind of been through the same thing where I culled a lot of a lot of different things
Yeah.
that I was following. I was like, and if one day I was following somebody and they posted something I didn't care about, or I saw them kind of drifting in a direction, and I was just like, this is just like every time I see your stuff now, I'm just like bad mindset. I
Yeah.
just unfollow at that point. Um, no,
And
I
that's
think
good.
I think it's very important.
It's kind of like the scenario with like putting the person toward the content that they make, because like for me, and this is not even like really like accurately timely true to this day, because like Kanye, I don't really like his new music, but the way I take it is I know that he's not a great person anymore, and I think that he definitely needs to check out some of his mental health and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But I do like some of his early stuff where he wasn't as
controversial.
controversial.
No, yeah,
And
I'm there with you when it comes to like, even though somebody's done something like somebody's turned out to be a, you know, kind of a shithead, but they have like
yeah,
older, like they have like old music and stuff like that, old movies and whatnot. I think you could
yep,
still take appreciation in those things, and like the art
yeah.
of it,
I typically don't
as
even
long as the
involve
art's not
them.
like, as long as the art's not surrounded by
Yeah,
whatever it was that, you know, that made them, you know, controversial and whatnot.
that's very true.
Because I love old Kanye. I didn't know that I Wonder was the same album as Stronger.
Oh, really? Dude, that
I
album
I did.
from beginning to end is probably perfect.
Yeah, that's a perfect album. I actually didn't know that that was the same album until my buddy Joe in Maine. I I was like, "Have you ever heard I Wonder?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, we gotta listen to it. I think it's one of his like newer songs."
Oh no.
And then he saw like the album cover, and he's like, "Bro, this is like one of his
This
oldest
is one of his
tracks."
first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like his like first five, one of his first fives.
I would have never made that connection. Man, I remember we would blast that and New Workout Plan on the
New
way to like
workout,
our late night trips downtown.
dude, new workout plan, and the my the Black Eyed Peas song. Which one was it?
uh it's not I Want to Rock Right Now, right?
It is. I
It
think it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
We used to
we
blast those.
windows down, fucking
Good times. Good
good
times.
times, good times. Yeah, yeah.
What about you? That's basically it. I don't really have much more.
No, yeah, no.
Been a simple week.
Hey, that's better than a bad week, I feel like. So I'll take
Yeah.
simplicity. I think my life, I've been trying to lean more towards simplicity, just with the things that I do, the things I surround myself with, and the people that I surround myself with. I can't. I'm not at like a moment in my life right now where I just can't handle unnecessary complexity. Like life
Mm,
will always be complex, but if I can,
minimize it.
yeah, if I can minimize it, kind of exit out, yeah, I'm doing that every time. So what do I have? Yeah, so for me, I put there's this little restaurant here. I don't mind doxing myself because I already put where I live in like my bio.
Yeah.
Here in Titusville, there's this little coffee shop called Black Cat Coffee,
Okay.
and I've really starting to like gravitate going to it every day, a lot like I did when I did live in Virginia. I would go to this place called Mill Mountain Coffee a lot,
Oh yeah.
and I went there every day. That's not even
I
an
know you
exaggeration.
did.
I went there every day, sometimes twice a day. I got breakfast and a coffee every morning, and though it was expensive, it was just a really nice and pleasant routine. I loved the store, the location that looked right over. The mall wasn't very pretty to look at, but
No.
the mountains and everything in the background were, it was just nice. And I hadn't really found anything like that since getting back to Florida. And now that I've started visiting this Black Cat Coffee place, it's got this really like rustic, homey, non-corporate kind of, everybody is there. Like everybody
Yeah.
that's working there looks happy, and you can feel that positive energy there. Unlike Starbucks, where I
Yeah.
go up there, people look like their souls have just been sucked out of them. um, and
Well,
so
you know
that's
personally.
I I do. I think that's why I've been avoiding Starbucks a lot lately. It's just I don't know. Like I didn't. It's not that I didn't enjoy my time there, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So like going to this new coffee shop, it's yeah, it's just kind of taking me back to that, you know, that nice mindset I had when I was back in Virginia of just doing my own thing, finding like a good, nice, and comfortable routine, and just surrounding myself with activities that brought me joy. Like,
Yeah, I remember you. We saw somebody. I think we were walking in the neighborhood and we saw a dad and son on their rollerblades, and we were like, "Dang!" I just like remember saving doing that shit all the time.
oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Heck, actually, right next to Mill Mountain Coffee, there was like this little doctor's office that never had cars there. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and so sometimes like if I didn't have like a dash scheduled immediately after eating some breakfast, I would just drive up to that little doctor's office and take out my roller skates and just roller skate
Yeah.
for a little bit outside. Um, but yeah, it's just I've been trying to since getting back. I've felt really like blah about everything about because I didn't want to move from Maine
Yeah.
and so I've just been kind of like not really
I think
it,
maybe a big part of it is because you haven't really, what you've at least expressed to me is you haven't really got out a lot in
no,
Florida. You
not since getting back, nah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like you've really just, grinded your streaming and gaming and like hung out with your mom, which is nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been very
and just like
recluse.
door dashing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's probably like partially why you are not as happy in Florida, especially since you don't really have anybody there anymore, like you did in Maine and you have in Roanoke.
Yeah, it's weird because it's not like I don't have friends here.
It's
They're
just different. I
just
get it.
yeah, it's just different, and I
Yeah.
don't, and I think because this place doesn't necessarily feel like home, I haven't been
Hmm.
wanting to reach out to too many people because I feel like I'm just gonna be leaving soon. Anyway, like in my mindset, like this is all just like temporary, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a shift into like just appreciating the fact that I'm that I'm here right now. This is what's happening, so just try to
Hmm.
enjoy it until the
I
next
think
step.
I
You know.
think I would if I were you. Um, just to get out a little bit, and that does not mean having to meet new people, regardless if you think that, you're gonna just drop them when you go back to Maine or
Hmm.
wherever. You can still explore different places. You can look at different, like for me, if I know there's a lot of anime style stuff in Florida, so I know my ass would be trying to find all the little hole in the wall anime places, regardless if it's coffee, ramen,
I
a
need to
little
go to
comic
Orlando. They
bar,
got
just
so
something
much.
crazy. I know there's a tattoo shop that's anime
Mm-hmm.
based in Orlando that I want to go to. There's just a bunch of stuff that
There's
I know
convention every other
I
weekend
know
here too.
that's a
There's
good
one
thing.
Friday actually that I didn't
Oh,
know because I said I was interested on Facebook, then I forgot about it, and then I got the
yeah.
notification. I was like, damn.
I think we got one March 23rd here at
Mhm.
Tanglewood.
Ooh, okay.
I'll probably go
I,
to
I s-
that, see if I can
I
pick up
s-
something.
yeah, I still never got to go to a Virginia like the
The
well,
big one,
what's
the
the
Big Lick,
yeah,
is good.
yeah, I never got to go to like the Big Lit Comic Con or is that the big one that's held there?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never got to go to that unfortunately. But yeah, I would say that, and then actually, I just added this yesterday. I need my fan. It's like hot in here. Yesterday I just found out that my next door neighbor is moving.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've had three neighbors since living here. I've had the one that gave me like my entire like room set. I think I've told you the story about the Swedish
Hmm.
guy who
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, you want this room?" I was like, yeah, sure." This is when my mattress is on the floor, and he's like, "I'll give you this $2,000 bed for like $500 and everything." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yes, yes." Um, I've had him, some other guy, and then my most recent one that's now just left. And I didn't know till I stepped outside to go walk Bentley and there was like a big moving truck of people going in and out of her house, and I was like, "Oh, well, what's is she moving? Like this is so sudden," and it
Yeah.
just made me realize that I never really appreciated having her as a neighbor. She's just like sweet old lady, and I know she while before I moved to Virginia and Maine, she was still here,
Hmm.
and then once I moved away, her husband that was also living there passed away, unfortunately. Very sweet man, but even then she's just since coming back she's always just like kept a smile, been very sweet and nice and positive.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed seeing her, but I never like never stopped to think like, man, like I'm really glad that this is my neighbor. Until yesterday when I was like, no, I don't like don't leave. I don't want another neighbor. Like I don't
Yeah.
like I want you. Don't leave. And it just made me kind of sad.
No, I get that. I think a big part of what I try to think about all the time is like when I get mad at like a random, like some random person, like doing
Hmm.
something, you know, I think is stupid outside around me, is that I think everybody does not think about people existing around them. Like we are all like aware people exist around us, but we're still in our own little world, just like they're in their own little world. And I think it's hard to understand that, to not get frustrated or mad
Hmm.
and then like upset when stuff like that happens. Like you never would have taken her into consideration until she's gone, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like a just like you don't think about it when it's there.
Hmm.
And then
And
after you're like, dang.
like that was a nice thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it one of the things it boils down to, it's something that like I've been trying to be better about because I think you know that like I have like an easy time just kind of like shutting people out and not talking to them ever again and stuff like that. And not that I'm doing that to my neighbor or anything, but it's more on the line of just like I'm only gonna meet like a certain number of people in my life,
Hmm.
and I want to like hold on to like the good one. Is that trippy?
This is trippy.
Trippy, yeah.
Being annoying, keep on meowing.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, like I'm only gonna meet like a certain number of people in my life, and I want to hold on to the good ones that I meet
Yeah.
instead of taking them for granted, and then when they're gone, whether it's passing on or just they go do something with their lives and whatever. Like
Yeah.
I've started to take a little more importance on making sure that I try to stay in touch, stay in connection, and really appreciate some of the people that I've come across in my life, and trying to make sure that I still keep the fire going under some of these just connections that I have with people. I'm really bad about just talking to people. I think like you and the boys in the group chat are like the only people I talk to on a consistent basis, and that includes family
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
I
And
think like even for us, like we go through like talking phases, like where we'll talk all the time
hmm.
and then we won't. Like this is probably like the longest we've been in touch for a while now.
Yeah.
Because like typically we'll take like a couple months and not talk to each other, just because we just don't,
Yep.
and then we'll just like get back to talk to each other, and it just happens.
Hmm. And it's nice
So
because it feels natural for the most part
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So, um, but yeah, and so what I've noticed is like I have to take like a real effort to reach out to other people that aren't in like my little circle of, you know, socialism that I have.
yeah,
And but it's nice like keeping up with some of the connections in Maine. It's been it's been hard to make sure I take the time to reach out to some of those people. Like I had somebody that I haven't talked to in months reach out, and
yeah.
that was Monday, and I didn't reply to them till Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, well, so we had a conversation on Monday, and then they sent like a really long message, and I get like so caught up in the day to day, but that's not a good excuse because so does everybody else.
yeah,
But they're still finding the time to at least send a message to me, and that's something that I feel like I've really needed to improve on is staying in touch with the people that I care about because I don't want them. I just hope that they know that it's not that I don't care about you. I just like if you're like especially if you text me while I'm dashing, I don't like to have notifications on my phone, so I swipe your message away. And then
yeah,
once I get off, I'm thinking about, oh, I gotta go pick up my mom. Oh, then I need to go
yeah.
stream. And the next thing you know, it's the next day. And then the next day, oh, time to go to
Hmm.
work. And so
I think
I
life
just
just
kind of
goes
forget.
on. I
Yeah.
think life just goes on. This is like one of those situations where like people will be in your life at certain points, and especially with friends, like I always thought like, you're gonna have those friends forever, and that might not be the case all the time, but you need to take what that friendship is for each individual thing. Nice, good job, good job.
Yeah. We don't gotta talk about it. For the listeners out there, I just spilled coffee all over my shirt.
But you just gotta take, because every single person you have a friendship with is gonna be different. Like your friendship with you is different than my friendship with Aiden or with Dob. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I for you and me, I feel like we probably spend the most time talking to each other, like even outside of streaming and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for like Aiden's a little bit more antisocial, so he doesn't like talking as much. And
Yeah.
me and him will just shit post here and there. You know, we're not always talking every single day like you and me would preferably do.
Mm-hmm.
And for Dob, it's not that I don't talk to him every day. It's more that I know that he has, a little bit more responsibility. He's got a lot more going on. His schedule's a little different. So I just take that into consideration to text him whenever, whenever we have time to like match up times.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't get upset or mad at him that we don't talk all the time. When I used to, think that it was maybe they don't like hanging out with me or talking to me. You just got to accept that people are doing their own thing too.
Got their like just
you
as
know?
you got your own entire life going on, so do they. I think that's
Mhm.
something that I still need to work on, but have greatly improved. I have and have had a lot of like insecurity in my life, especially when it comes to people, because I feel like I've lost a lot of people that I've been really close with, and I think it's like given me a lot of self doubt. Like, what did
Yeah.
I do wrong? And I think that just stems from like a lot of other stuff. Not mentioning the stuff that happened when I moved to Virginia. Um,
Yeah.
and, and so I think, yeah, like when like certain people, when they don't talk to me, I'm like, oh fuck, what did I do wrong? Like, did I do something wrong? Did I say the wrong thing? Have
That's
I
how
been
I
to
used to be.
have I been too much lately? And
Yeah.
I still get those thoughts sometimes, but I've it's definitely something that I feel like I've grown from incredibly. Like now there are people where it's like I know our thing. It's just sometimes we don't talk for 2 weeks, and then
Yeah.
they'll send a meme to me like Aiden, for instance, like
Yeah.
like Aiden, like a perfect example. Like he'll leave me on red, totally cool, but then he'll reply with like the funniest shit to like a random story that
Yep.
I post or something.
Aiden's like one of those people that pops up and out whenever, like, it's not
Yep.
a, yeah.
It's always nice because like I like he'll send me like a meme once a week,
Uh-huh.
and it's like it's just like the funniest thing, and that's just
Sometimes
like
it'll remind me, like, oh, fuck, I need to message Aiden real
yeah,
quick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so those are nice things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's about it for my look back though. Is the coffee shop and my neighbor.
Yeah.
Well, what's nice is not the doxer, but she's a school crossing guard within like some of the local areas around me.
Hmm.
And since I'm dashing, I'm always going by different roads at different times, and so sometimes I pass her and I roll down my window and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah. That's like that person in that car when you were running past him. Just like the natural,
Yeah, yeah.
moments with people that you don't really even know.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I can't remember if I mentioned this to Titanium during last week's episode, but I ran into an old guest from like the Starbucks that I worked at here inside the Target.
Hmm.
I ran into him and it was so awkward because I have a good job at noticing people from behind,
Yeah.
and so he wasn't facing me at all. He was like inside of his car door, and
Hmm.
but I was like, that looks like the back of his head. Even though I haven't seen you, I haven't seen you in 3 years, but I know that back of the head.
Yeah.
And so I like, while he's in his car, I was like, "Excuse me, sir," and he got up really slowly, turned and stared at me, and just was kind of like, "Who are you?"
That's
like
so
that was the
funny.
that was the look. Is like the "Who are you?" look, and I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but like I was the manager here.
Yeah.
Uh, you're a regular, and he's like, "Oh, yes, I can't remember your name to save my life, but yes, how you doing?" It's just so nice to like just organically and naturally run into those people, especially outside of work. Somebody that
Yeah.
like I potentially would have never run into ever again, especially if I'd stayed in Maine. But getting to like come back down and have that interaction with them was like really nice.
Yeah. You think that, everything stops, but everything just keeps going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, heck yeah. You you ready to move over to our positive press segment?
Yeah, we can.
Heck yeah.
Why don't you start first?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's fine. So let me get my stuff pulled up here. If it'll open, I opened it twice.
That's
So
good.
I'm just gonna read the headline and then just kind of no phone calls. Getting phone calls right now.
Love
So
that.
yeah, I know. I'm just here. The banks aren't getting my money.
Hell no.
uh, I'm just gonna read the headline and then I'll just kind of summarize in my own words kind of what's going on in the article. Because what I like about a lot of the sites that I like put for everybody to kind of find good news is the
Mm-hmm.
stories are pretty short, um,
Yeah.
and to the point, which I like. So the headline for this one, it's on the goodgoodgood.co, is this Austin nonprofit hosts free laundry days for unhoused local, then changes their lives for the better. And for anybody who's interested, any articles that we talk about, I will put in the thread in our Discord afterwards. So basically, this nonprofit, what they do is they host like a day or a couple days or even like a week of free laundry for people that need it. You don't necessarily have to be homeless in order to benefit from this.
Yeah.
But what like the free laundry isn't even like the big thing that they do. I'm sure that like totally helps out like incredibly. But like when I was living in Maine, I had to use a laundromat for the first time. Like I definitely would have benefited from free laundry. So like I get it. Um, but what they do is once people like go there, there's they have all these resources set up where they have like people that help you like get into housing, like especially if you're homeless. They have people helping you sign up for housing. They do like a little food bank there at the same time, or like they have canned goods to give to people and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they have blankets and they have new and fresh clothes because I'm sure a lot of the homeless people going there to get their clothes washed probably don't have a lot of clothes or a lot of nice clothes or a
Yeah.
lot of fresh clothes. And especially in Texas, it gets cold in Texas, and so having warm
True.
clothing. Um, and so what's nice is they put all these resources up for everybody. So they might be going there thinking that, oh, I can go get some free laundry. And next thing you know, you got food, you got new clothes, you have some resources to help you get back on your feet. They have like, I don't want to call it scholarship programs, but like, they're not scholarships, they're not grants, but you can kind of like
It's
apply in
probably
a sense
yeah. It's
to,
probably like GD benefits and stuff like that.
yeah, I'm going to pretend I know what that means.
It's like if you never got your high school diploma and
Oh,
you still want to
GED.
get yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they just have all these resources to help people get back on their feet, and I just think that's a wonderful thing. And yeah, that's basically the article. I don't see a lot of like personally, and I guess I'm not the target audience for these kinds of things, so I guess I wouldn't know about it. But I think that's the first time that I've seen like a nonprofit do something on
Yeah.
the lines of that. But I think this is just the
Yeah.
first time that I'm being exposed to it, and that's like the whole premise of the show in the first place. And having this positive press segment is being exposed to some of the good things going on that you wouldn't otherwise know about. And so yeah.
I guess I can kind of segue into that off of mine
Mm-hmm.
because this one's off the positive.news
Okay.
website in the environment tab, and it talks about homelessness too, or like not as um lucky, I guess.
Fortunate
Um
people. Yeah.
yeah, fortunate. Um but in Finland it says that they've almost nearly eliminated homelessness and that there's only this past year in record has only been 3,600 um comparative to like whatever their population is, and that since the 1980s they've dropped homelessness to that number from 20,000 almost 40%. um and they've just been doing stuff to actually, when you know their taxes and stuff, they're actually investing this back into what you know we pay our taxes for. I feel like in
Mm-hmm.
America sometimes our taxes are not used for the things that we actually need, like the homeless shelters and construction for roads being fixed, or like new developments being made, or
Yeah.
you know
Our money goes
um
to expanding highways that don't need expanding.
yeah, yeah,
Especially
like
here in Florida.
like in my opinion, I'm a big museum person, I'm a big art person, so
Yeah.
I feel like we need more museums, and actually luckily in Roanoke they just opened up back the planetarium that got closed down a long time ago, so the
Oh yeah,
planetarium is back.
really? Okay.
Yeah, so I guess our tax dollars are working somewhat,
Mm.
but it looks like Finland is doing a great job to create, developments in welfare housing and, low income housing for people that really need it, and um, generate them a way of life, getting them started up with like finding a job and getting all the resources you need for stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a. I think yeah, those two articles go hand in hand because like
Yeah.
that little nonprofit also you mentioned like helping them find jobs, and yeah, that's another thing that they do. And then you
You
said
just
this
don't.
is Finland. They only have like estimated 3,600 homeless people.
Hmm.
I know
In Finland.
cities that probably have more homeless people
Dude,
than
Roanoke
that.
is starting to get bad, like really bad recently, and I'm not saying it's like a bad thing, but like just the
It's not
fact that
their
like
fault.
the fact that you just see these people, they're rough, and I know they're probably on something, and it's unfortunately not good for them. But
Yeah.
like I just want to know, like, it's because shit's so expensive, things are so hard to get nowadays, and especially for people like that, you know I don't think there's like that many like welfare bonuses anymore or food stamps. Like it's not as much as it used to be. Like
Hmm.
I don't think people can abuse it anymore like they say they can. Um, and I don't think that's really helping the people that need it.
No, yeah, I think especially here in America, the homelessness problem is just there. Like
It's
a lot of,
insane.
I think a lot of people think they choose that life, and if you want to deep dive into it,
There probably is some,
I'm sure there's like some
but
small, but for the
yeah,
most part, it's because they don't have the resources properly set up for them to be able to get
and
themselves out of that situation. Like, sorry, you go.
this isn't really taught either. Like how to set up your life. They
Yes, yeah,
might have a
especially not in
personal
school.
finance class in high school or something, but they don't teach you how to actually survive adulthood. They don't teach you how to survive like taxes and like working, and like you should be doing this much, you should be making this much, but this is how much stuff's going to start costing. Everything's increasing in price, but we're not going to pay you much more. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's just kind of like one of them situations where it's getting hard for people like that, and it doesn't make
Yeah.
it easier for anybody. The only people that are really truly surviving off of it is the upper class, because middle class unfortunately has to pay for both upper and lower class. So we're working super hard and we're getting nothing out of it. We get none of the benefits that lower class can, and upper class will never struggle.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, no, we just, I, it, yeah, we don't have the systems in place as they should be, and I know sometimes it depends on like municipal. So like certain cities, certain counties, they do have some of these resources set up.
Hmm.
But like for like some of the people that listening and watching that don't know, like I was homeless for a little bit, but that's like a totally like that was my choice. I did make that choice to go live in my car, but even then, I remember the first time I had a cop knock on my car window.
Yeah.
That for one, it was scary as hell because I'm like, who's
Yeah.
knocking on my window? And then he's got his headlights and he's shining a flashlight in my eyes, and I'm just like, bro, it's
Yeah.
negative 13 degrees. I don't have socks on. He's like, get out the car, and I'm like, oh,
Oh my god.
yeah, and once he's like, okay, so just a kid. He's just sleeping in his car. I didn't know Walmart you couldn't park overnight there anymore apparently.
I think they're
Um,
trying to minimize that like
yeah,
everywhere.
and
I think that's
and
like a
I didn't know that. It's so, but he was like, you could always just go to like the local homeless shelter, and I'm like, that's not gonna fix my problems though. Like, I will like for like that's not gonna fix my problems. Like, if
yeah.
uh, I don't know, you would if homeless shelters truly worked, you wouldn't have people sleeping on the streets like they are.
No.
Like
No.
I'm not saying homeless shelters are useless. They do wonderful things and they help a lot of people, but at the same time, they're still not fundamentally designed to
Unfortunately, you're never going
solve
to be able to help
those
everybody.
yeah, yeah. And but I also just find a lot of these shelters don't necessarily apply again a lot of those resources needed to help those people get off their feet. And again, that comes like Finland, the country and the government is taking action to help that, where I feel like a lot in the states it's a lot of nonprofits and
Yeah.
organizations trying to solve it when they instead they need government help, whether it's from you know city, state, federal.
The only
And
thing I'll give an excuse to America is, compared to like Finland, is it's obviously a lot bigger and obviously a
of
lot
course.
more diverse, you know.
And laws, I think,
regardless.
probably work incredibly differently between like our local, city,
And
state,
it's not
federal.
because of, I think, because of the laws. I think the laws are all the same. I think just that diversity creates a lot of conflict. And like it's like you and me, we can have different football teams, and if we're really serious about it, we can get pretty heated about it,
Yeah.
causing, some people are not of strong minded to not act a fool.
Yeah.
um but I feel like for there in Finland,
Go
they're
Giants.
do not go Giants. I think for like Finland, they're probably a very tight knit community, even compared to like all the cities together. It's just the way Europe is itself. The only diverse European country is probably like England. Like super.
That's a take.
As a take.
I can't speak for what diversity looks like in other countries. I have no
And
idea.
diversity does not mean race or color either. That
No,
means
I know.
everything.
No, no. There's
Um,
there's diversity in class and
I've been
everything.
to like
and so
Ireland, dude. Irish, dude. They're all like the same, and this is like a good thing because they're all like funny and their accents are so cool, and I really enjoyed going to Ireland. But I was like the only my type of person, I was I
yeah,
was a sore thumb.
you were you had a little more melanin than
I was a sore thumb.
90% of the folk there.
I was like double their size. I was a little darker and
Really,
I had
you
an
were
American
you were
accent.
just well. Actually, you're taller than I feel like just most people in general. So
I'm 6'3".
yeah, I don't know. Well,
I think
you're not. You're
for
definitely
me,
not
I
the
compare
average.
myself
6'3" is
to
not the average.
for me, I compare myself to basketball players, so I always think that I'm not that big, but to the average, I know I am.
Comparing yourself to a basketball player? Why?
It's
That's
because
an
I
odd
play
comparison
basketball.
to.
Because I've
I
always had
guess
to
that's
go up
fair.
against. I've always had to play like against like 6'8" and 7 foot guys, and
That's true.
when
That's
you're
true.
playing
That's
against
fair.
guys like that, I understand when people were like 5'8" playing against me. I'm like, I get it now. This
Mm-hmm.
is annoying.
That's. I just makes me think back to like playing tennis, and when you get somebody tall, I'm just like, God,
Yeah,
because tall
like
people.
Garrett.
Yeah, tall people always have the best serve because it's easy for them to get it over the net. They can basically
Yep.
they can see the service line.
Yep.
So like their serve is always really good. If they come up to the net, unless you're a good lobber, you're done because
Yeah.
they have the infinite wingspan.
Garrett, dude, Garrett would go crazy because he was just like so tall. He was taller than me. It was just crazy to think about.
Hmm.
But even his forehand, I think that his forehand was like my head level, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's hitting a ball head level at me, and I'm like over here like,
I think the backhand and forehand actually like a high bounce
Yeah.
shot. It's so difficult to
yeah,
hit. I hate when people put a lot of topspin on a ball and it like
Mhm. He was
like
good at it.
I have to make contact with it at head level. That's annoying. That's usually when I end up doing like the Rafa Nadal over the head thing because that's like the
Yeah.
best way that I can make contact with the ball is doing a swing like that.
me teaching my sister, kind of like helping her a little bit get better with tennis since this is her first year. I think her like the thing I've been like on her ass about is like I've been like, you need to position yourself properly because like I'll hit the ball and like she'll be standing like right in front of it, and I'm like, you should have took one step back and one step to the left and you'd have been great.
Yeah.
You need to position yourself properly or you're going to put yourself in a tight situation. You need to know where the ball's going to go.
And,
You can kind of see when somebody hits a shot, you'll know where that ball's going to go.
yeah, and not only that, but another thing about tennis, and you'll see the pros do it. You see anybody that's like played the sport for a while is
Hmm.
where you need to move based on where you placed your shot and where they have to
Hmm.
run to. Because let's say I hit a forehand down the line on their forehand. Like let's assume two right-handed players. I hit a
Yeah.
forehand down the line to their forehand. The most
Hmm.
likely shot for them is probably hitting it back either center court or cross court back to my
Yeah,
forehand.
yeah, they're going to cross
Just
it, yeah.
Yep, just like if I hit a hit it down the line to their backhand, I'm gonna move left because the most likely shot for them is not hitting it back down the line, it's them again like hitting it across the court at a diagonal angle. And so
Hmm.
that's a very important thing. Is like you you never want to be standing on the same side of the court as them. Like you don't want to be straight on. So like if they're on the right side of the court like I guess from your perspective, they're on the right, you want to be to the
Yeah.
left,
Yeah.
and everything. This is kind of a sports podcast, really quick.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm with it, and
No,
that's
yeah, I
why
just been
tennis is the hardest and most difficult sport. No, I'm just kidding.
tennis is difficult. I
I,
mean,
I
you
can't
have
stand it when
zero
people are like
help, so it's
tennis
all
is
on you.
easy.
Tennis is it's all on you. If you make a mistake, that's on you. It can't
I
be your
think it's one of the
team. You have
most
nobody.
mental games.
Yeah, it is. It could be long. It could be a very long game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you keep on tying. Y'all are both on the same level. Um, and going back and forth. Sometimes you'll have to be sprinting. It's
Yeah.
tough. That's difficult. Not a lot of people have that type of endurance to sprint back and
Mm-hmm.
forth. And you think it's not that big, but it is. The distance between it and just doing that motion over and over is tough, especially for somebody like me that's just athletic.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'll get tired pretty quick too. And the thing with tennis is you don't get like, but
Breaks.
unless you're switching sets, you don't really
Yeah.
get a break, and you're going
No.
technically at the server's pace. I mean, if your server is respectable, they'll like
They'll
see like
slow it
okay,
down.
he's ready now. I'll serve. But for
Yeah.
the most part, yeah, you get 30 seconds tops. And then
Yeah.
even like let's say you're just switching sides, not changing sets, you're still not even a minute because like you could sit down, drink your water really quick, but then you got to get going.
Yeah.
No, yeah, tennis and the thing is like it's I think it's one of the easiest sports to beat yourself up over, because it's not a team sport unless you're playing
Yep.
doubles. But even then in doubles, if you mess up, that's on you completely.
Yeah.
Uh, for the most part, and so I feel like unless you're playing somebody that's just like infinitely better than you, most of the times that you lose, it's from your own mistakes. It's from your own errors.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Uh,
very hard. It's very hard to like. Yes, you can get beat in tennis, but like if you know what you're doing, you really shouldn't get into that position.
hmm
So it's on you technically. It'll take a really tough shot to beat you.
Yeah, a forced error.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, heck yeah. I don't know. Do you still have time for? I have another article. If you still have some time,
Yeah, we can do it.
bet. Speaking of other European nations, and this is gonna be like a really simple one. This is from the OptimistDaily.com. Breaking the ice. Swedish city. Swedish city combats winter loneliness with "Say Hello" campaign, and basically the premise of this is just, I guess, this specific town, and I guess I could see this just like being like a worldwide thing, especially here in the U.S. Is a lot of people, you don't, when you pass each other, you just pass each other. Whether you're at the
Yeah.
store, you're on the sidewalk, you intentionally mind your own business. It's by design. You're not really saying hi to people, and I guess there's this campaign going around in this city where if you're passing somebody on the street, you're next to somebody in store, you're in line, whatever, you just say hello to them. That's it. You don't have to have
Yeah.
a conversation. You just say hello. They say hello back, and apparently it's just, this is something that happened since COVID, and the way
Mhm.
that like they just kind of, the city operates in itself and just kind of the country. I guess a lot of people, they just mind their own,
Yeah.
but they've noticed like a spike in, I guess, just like maybe local surveys and studies that they've done, like a lot of people just claiming to be lonely, and like a lot of the
Mhm.
hotlines for that kind of stuff have been spiking, and so they've
Okay.
come up with this campaign just like, hey, when you're out, you see somebody, just wave and say hi.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that's a nice thing, because like sometimes I don't want people to talk to me when I'm out, like I won't
Yeah.
lie, I don't want to have to interact with people sometimes, but then it's
Yeah.
also nice when, depending on the situation, I might, I might be in an aisle at a store and somebody's just like, hi, and I'm just like, oh, hi, like it, no other conversation besides a hi, and it's nice, and the purpose of it is just to help people feel recognized.
I think it's definitely like what we were talking about earlier when you feel like you're in your own little world and everybody's else in their own little world. It kind of like pulls you out of your like schedule.
Yeah.
You do basically everything on a schedule almost. Everything's typically the same day to day. You go to work or you go drive or you take your mom to work or whatever. You're doing something almost into a schedule. So sometimes it's nice to just be pulled out by somebody that you aren't recognized of.
Yeah, it,
And
it, it kind of it kind of breaks your bubble a little bit,
yeah, and
but not in a bad
it
way.
does give you that recognition, and maybe down the line it could even progress more and more if you keep on seeing that person. It could almost become a schedule too, and you have another person to revolve your life around.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, just potentially make a friend,
Yeah.
or even just an acquaintance. I do love that there's like certain people, when I see them, it is just like a hey, and
Hmm.
then slowly it progresses to how you doing,
Yeah.
and then maybe just a topic gets brought up in one of those, and so that's something we can kind of banter about, and it doesn't really go too much beyond that, but it's still just it's another person to have a really nice and pleasant interaction with that you otherwise probably just would have been filled with silence
I
and
think so.
leaving, and yeah, and apparently since starting this campaign they've noticed, again, I guess surveying and just asking people about it, is that they felt less lonely, especially just in the city, and I think it like helps people at home when they get to think about these interactions that they've had with people, and it's led to a lot more connections with people, you
I
know.
think for sure. I think so for sure. Especially just like little comments. Like Kirsten had an issue with somebody at McDonald's yesterday, where she held the door open for some dude, and regardless if he might be having a bad day or whatever, blah blah blah, but he didn't say thank you or anything. He didn't
Hmm.
even like acknowledge it, and nobody's doing actions for people to get acknowledged, but it's just common courtesy,
Yeah,
you know.
it
And
feels
so
bad
she,
when people don't recognize that, even if
yeah,
you didn't do it for that,
nobody does it for
it's
recognition, but it's just
nice.
nice. I do something
Yeah.
nice for you. It's the least you can do is say thank you.
Hmm.
So she was like, "You didn't say thank you. Like, what do you like? What's up, bro?" And he like had some like attitude, and was being like
Oh, she
a
said
butthole.
something about it to him.
Yeah, just
Oh.
because and especially for well, that's yeah, especially for a girl to do something for somebody. Typically everybody will open it for the old lady or something.
Hmm.
A man will
Yeah.
open all the doors for a lady. It's just common courtesy for being a well-respected man. But for a girl to do something like that, you just think, just to say thank you. And I
Hmm.
think stuff like that people don't take into consideration are like with I think social media, and especially with COVID dropping down like socialness for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that people don't take into consideration how people feel anymore.
No, yeah, I think that's a big
It's
problem.
not
Is
as personal anymore as it used to
people don't
be.
care. I don't want to say people don't care about how other
But
people feel, but
people have
there
become
there are a lot of folk out
self-centered.
there. Yeah, there's a lot of folk out there that I do think get too stuck in their own world, and it's not their fault per se.
I make that mistake
But
sometimes too.
yeah,
I'm not perfect.
I
I
do
do
that
it
too.
too.
I I actually think that I kind of like suffer. I don't want to say suffer, but like I think I focus too much on what other people might be feeling
Yeah,
and going on. And like it's empathetic. I feel like I might be I'm really empathetic,
you're an
and
empath.
yeah, I'm an empath. But no, I'm very considerate, but sometimes it's to a fault. I feel like sometimes I'll like I will sit there, and this comes a little more with like my patience thing too. But then also I just try to think about the other person. It's like I will sit there through a whole like green light if somebody's in front of me not going. I'll sit there without
Mhm.
honking once.
Oh,
I
see,
won't.
yeah, you have a lot. You
I'll
got a
let
lot
a
of
whole.
strength.
I'll let a whole light pass, and then once the second one comes around, I'll give them a few seconds. And then if they don't go, I just do a little boop. I hate hitting my
You
horn.
you got a lot of strength because I'd have been like,
No. It's so. But in my head, I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. And if I was in the
and
same
yeah,
boat, I would be like, I shouldn't be an idiot, and I'd be focusing on the light. But also, we all make mistakes.
I have to send this
It's.
video that makes me think about like that type of stuff where I think there was like a guy interviewing some other guy, and this person was just on his phone, walked right through the interview because the interview was like obviously happening, but he just walked right through it, but not paying attention, like didn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And the interviewer was like, "Are you kidding me?" And the other guy was like, "Well, I don't think that's necessarily such a bad thing. He's doing his own thing. He probably didn't even recognize that we were a part of his day-to-day life. He
Yeah.
just blew right through it and didn't even
Oh, was that the dude at the mall? They were at a mall or
yeah, the
something.
white guy with the glasses.
Yeah, and
Yes,
yeah,
that
he was
video.
he's like it's not his fault, everybody's just in their own little
Yeah,
world. Yeah, I
yeah.
love that. I love that video
That's a
because
good
like
video to really
everything,
explain
and
that.
then the guy asked him, he's like, "Are you AI?" Yeah, he's like, "Nope,
Oh my
I'm as
god,
real as
that
could
was
be."
such a good video until he said that.
Yeah. I think that was just because that person's just trying to make content. But that dude was
I think
speaking. He was speaking facts though.
yeah, you're speaking facts. I was like, dang, bro.
It's nice to know that there's people out there that do have that mindset, because I think a
At
lot of
least
people
it's
have very thin patience sometimes, and I think
I do.
I think if we were all just a little more understanding,
I
a little
know.
more caring.
It's something that I definitely struggle with, and I definitely need to work on, and I try to work on it.
Yeah, I think the games we play don't help. We play a lot of
Oh,
very competitive
they're
stuff.
really bad. They're awful. But they're
We need new
addicting.
games.
I hate Fall Guys, bro. That was awful last night.
What? No, okay, yeah, it was
We
making me.
won one.
I was heated a little bit. I think we won too.
Did we?
I don't
We
remember.
might have.
I remember getting stuck on the map twice. So.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, heck yeah, Dallas. I think we can. I think this might be a good time to close out the show. I don't know if we. I don't know if we hit an hour,
I think
but
we did. Yeah, I think we hit like right under an hour, maybe.
yeah. But I think that's perfect.
Oh, hour and 4 minutes. Hour and 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, there was like the start, but. But yeah, no, this has been wonderful. Thank you for coming on and being our second guest. I
Of
really
course.
really appreciate you.
Who's the next one?
I don't know. I don't want to. You know, the masses. They're all screaming and waiting for the next show, and I think they. Yeah, I'll get what Sergeant Drake.
Yeah,
The bird
Sergeant Drake the duck.
from Fortnite.
I'll make a V2 character and make that my V2 character.
Yo, that would be. I'll do the flamingo. I'll figure that out. No, I'm thinking about. I'm trying to get Joe on from Maine.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a lot of positive vibes.
Where's
So.
Titanium from? Because that'll give us like different perspectives from a lot of different places.
West Coast.
No, deducts. Okay,
Like upper West Coast. I'm pretty
Cool,
sure.
cool.
So yeah,
Hopefully,
that's yeah. We're gonna. I'm gonna get Upper West. We'll have
Some
Upper
people
East.
live in England too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that'd be cool.
that's another one to figure out, because
That's a
again,
little different.
time frame.
Timing.
the timing. So like I try to make this a morning podcast, but for them it'd be like
Night.
yeah, basically. Or I'd have to like start at like 6 a.m. and then nobody's awake.
Ooh, we'd love to get minimum in this. We'd love to get minimum.
Yeah, if Minimum would totally be down to at least get on the mic, not even
I
like
know.
have not even have the camera, but just be on the mic, that would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dallas, thank you so much. To anybody
course.
that is currently watching, I will be personally having a little after show. We're just be playing some games because I have nothing going on today.
I might join you. Just give me a second. I had to
Yeah.
pop out and figure that out.
Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Dallas, thank you.
Of course, thank you for having me on.
Do you want people to find you anywhere? Do I need to
mean,
shout out anything for you?
Nah, it's okay. I don't.
You can catch him on the streams. You can catch
I'll
Dallas.
probably be on
the
every other
streams.
stream.
Yeah. But yeah, you can also find.
Are you serious, Trippy? Oh my god, the cat just opened.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, hey, if you're listening to this on YouTube or any of the podcast platforms that this eventually is going to go out on, you can always watch this live on Twitch at Savvy Savian. And yeah, and these will also be up on YouTube afterwards, usually coming out about the day after, and on other podcasting platforms here soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I've been Savvy Savian. This is Dallas, and Yo. Dallas's cat was on screen. But yeah.
Adios.
Thank you guys, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.